I'll be doing the remaining parts which is left out. Okay. See, the third module is mainly based on the data and information, which is very uh, important, and it plays the prominent job in the SAN environment or the business environment. Here, we have the module name as backup, archive, and replication. See, as you know, backup is nothing but we have a data which is kept safely, so that each data will be backed up, and this data will be used when it is lost or when it can't be accessed. And archive is nothing but the copy of this data will be saved, and also this is mainly used for informations like your space management and long term retention of data is maintained. So in this module we'll see some of the concepts on each of this backup, archive, and replication, how it works locally and how it works for remote access, and what are the technologies or topologies defined for this particular thing. And here replication is nothing but replication is we store data in more than one site or node. For the main eh, advantage of this replication is the availability of data. Since we if we want to make the availability of data, if one site is lost, and you can revert back to the other side and make sure that the availability of data or accessing of the data to the client is made sure. This is the concept of your backup, archive, and replication. Based on this concepts, we'll study what are the topologies, or how it is involved in SAN environment, and what are the disadvantages and how it is overcome, and what is the present scenario of these topics. See, first topic, or the first introductory part of this module is introduction to business continuity. See, business continuity is nothing but, see, as I told, information is an important asset for the organizations, and most of the organization is mainly dependent on information for their analysis or any kind of data processing. And also we have n number of business operations, so that for doing this business operations, when you have continuous access to the information, or when there is no interruptions, or when there is no outage, that is here outage is nothing but failure or interruption. In this module we'll use a term called outage. See, outage is nothing but a failure or the interruption of data, that is your outage. When you for this business operation, when you have a continuous interaction or continuous accessibility to the information which is which is stored, then this functionality of business operation will be smooth. And also when the data is unavailable to the servers or clients who is asking, and also any of the sources, when the data is not provided by the organization, then uh, it affects greatly in terms of cost and also the reputation. This is a brief introduction, and we'll see what is business continuity. See, here we'll learn a term called business continuity. And business continuity is nothing but it is a process that prepares for a response to and recovers from a system outage that can adversely affects business operations. So business continuity is nothing but we call in terms of business continuity solution. See, business continuity solution is nothing but it is a process which will make sure that it prepares for, and also if there is any outage or failure it responds to it, and if you can't access or if there is any failure it recovers the data from the failure, and it makes sure that the information is available to in terms for the business operations like your analysis. You have n number of business operations also. And these are the some of this is the brief introduction about business continuity. See, business continuity as simple as that it is a solution which will make sure that the data is available to the clients, and it also plans for the expected failures or outrages, and also it responds to the when the client is could not ask it, I mean access the data, he may respond through any of the medium, and this business continuity will make sure that it will respond to the client request, and it will recover the data, and it makes sure that data is available or accessible by the client. And also here, the main the main important thing about business continuity is that it should make sure that the information is available. As I told, the information should be always available, and this task is given to the business continuity. And also it is an integrated and enterprise wide process, and it has n number of activities, and it will make sure that the information is always available to the resources which is required by from the organization. And also what this business continuity involves is it involves proactive and reactive measures. See, proactive and reactive measures, when you have n number of outrages or failures or interruptions, this business I mean continuity will have the measures, and we call it as proactive measure and reactive measure. And some of the proactive measures are business impact analysis, risk assessment, and also business continuity technology solutions like your backup and replication. And some of the reactive measures is your disaster recovery and restart. And these are some of the measures taken when something happens. We have n number of measures that we have grouped into proactive and also reactive countermeasures, and this will take care the and make sure that the information is available. See, in virtual environment, we know that there will not be any physical contact between the storage. We have a virtual layer, and this will contact directly for the client. And in when you come across the business continuity solutions, it needs to protect both physical and virtual resources. That is, when you don't have the virtualization layer, we just concentrate on the physical parts or physical devices, and we make sure that we have all the measures to for the failure. But when it comes to the virtualization environment, they should make sure that all the physical and also virtualization resources which is responsible for accessing the information, it should be protected, and if there is any recovery required it should be recovered. This is what the business continuity mean. Business continuity is nothing but it is a solution which will make sure that by their proactive and reactive measures it will make sure that the information is available. This is the business continuity. See, the next topic is the information availability. See, information availability is nothing but we define it as it is a ability of an IT infrastructure to function accordingly to business expectation during its specific time of operations. That is, information availability is nothing but it is a ability of IT infrastructure to function accordingly, that the proper data is given, so that according to the business expectation the data is given, and it will make sure that the operation is taken care, or it is conducted or goes on in a specific time which is related. That is your information availability. And also here, we can we can define information availability in three terms. The first one is your accessibility. Accessibility is nothing but we should make sure that the information which should be accessed, it should be accessed by right user at the right time. That is, you should check the user also at the authentication and also at the right time, because when it is requested, if you send after so long time, then it will become a critical job. And also we have two terminologies here: system uptime and system downtime. See, uptime in accessibility, system uptime is nothing but when the information can be accessed at the right time. That is, the information is available to access, then it is called system uptime. And when the data or the information cannot be accessed, then it is called system downtime. These are the two terminologies which is defined in terms of data accessing. System uptime is you can access the data, you are able to access the data, and system downtime is nothing but the time which you cannot access the data or the information from the sources. This is your accessibility. And the next one is reliability. Reliability is nothing but it is a ability to function without failure. That is, uh, whatever the functions are there, whatever the measures we take, and whatever the resources we need to provide, we should have an ability to function in a proper way without any failures. And also in time, the date this functions should be um, these functions should be carried out without any failures in time. That is your reliability. That is, no errors or no failures should be occurred, and this will cause the reliability factor. And timeliness is nothing but, see, timeliness is nothing but here, uh, we have a will define a time window during which the information can be accessed. And here time window is nothing but it may be in terms of time, particular time in a day, like your like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, that is your particular time in a day, or weekly or monthly or yearly. This is the time window, we call it as time window. In specific time window, according to the client, this information will be available, so that they can access at the right time. See, for example, when you have an application and it is required information only during 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., then each day, then this becomes the particular time of a day window, and this information will be available only for this slot, and the other time it will not be available to access. This is all, this is your this is also a factor which will define the information availability. That is the timeliness, accessibility, reliability, and also the timeliness. And next is see, the next topic is your causes of information unavailability. See, we have n number of factors which will make that whatever the information is available will not reach the client due to n number of reasons. And we have a pictorial representation of why this may happen, in what percentage this may happen, and what are the causes. See, the first one you can see here, you have a disaster. You have a disaster, and and the occurrence is less than 1% occurrence. You can see here, and this disaster may include natural or man-made. Natural or man-made calamities can be included, so that because of this reasons the information will not be available for the clients. See, you can see here, like your floods, that is your natural process. Fire, it may be natural or man-made, and earthquake is your natural process. Due to this reason, sometimes the data connection may be lost, and this will affect uh, the data or the information unavailability. And this for this type of unavailability and call it as disaster, we have only 1% of occurrence. You can see here, only 1% of occurrence is plotted in the pie chart. And next is your unplanned outrage, and this is represented by your red color. And unplanned outrages, this we have 20% of occurrences where the information may become unavailable due to this. And this is mainly due to failures, like your database corruption, components failure, maybe your physical component or your virtual resources failure, or the human errors. Due to human errors, or when human is working on something, due to human errors, this information may be unavailable, and this is also one of the cause of your unplanned outages, as I told, failures. And next is the major part is taken by your planned outages. See, planned outages is represented by blue color, and this is almost 80%. See, planned outages is nothing but when we have to include some of the installations, when you want to integrate some of the algorithms, or when you have some of the maintenance purposes for your resources, this will take place. And at that particular time, the information or the resources will not be available, so that the information is not will be unavailable for the clients. And due to this planned outages 80%, sometimes what happens is they may alert each and every client about this. We'll get a message that it will not work at this particular slot or anything. But sometimes this may become a sudden process, then we need to make sure that this may take time. And when you have backup or reporting or data warehouse extracts or application and data restore, these are all the planned outrages, where this includes some of the installations or maintenance purposes of the hardware or the software which is required, or any of the uh, like uh, like you are you facilitating operations, like your refresh or the testing process. All this was included in the planned outrages, and whichever the process which is included in the maintenance, it will come under your planned outrages. And most of the time, 80% of the time, the cause for unavailability is planned outages itself. And sometimes it may be 20% goes to unplanned outrages by any of the failures, like your database corruption, components failure, and human error. And sometimes it is a disaster with natural or man-made flood, fire, and earthquake. These are all the causes. And next is your impact of downtime. See, as I told system uptime and system downtime. System uptime is the data when the information is available to access, it is uptime. When the information is not available to access, it is called downtime. When this occurs, what are the impacts or effects of the organization factors? This is included in this slide. The first one is lost productivity. See, lost productivity is nothing but uh, here it may lose, or it may we have the impact on number of employees, their working hours, their work equipments or capital, and also labor per unit. They'll be paying some of the things, and when the information is not available to do the task, this will be extra burden for the organization. That is your lost productivity. And next is lost revenue. See, lost revenue include your direct loss or compensatory payments. As I told, compensatory is nothing but, so you have hired a manpower, but you don't have information to do the task, but you need to pay them, because when they have, I heard, you can't blame your reasons to them. Hence you need to you will be having compensatory payments or lost future revenue or billing losses or investment losses. This is all under your lost revenue or economically. And your financial performance will become poor when you don't have proper information available. And when you're facing too much of downtime, then you have revenue recognition will be poor, I mean cash flow will be poor, and lost discounts and also payment guarantees will be poor. You need, because of these all these reasons, the payment, you can't afford a payment to your employees, and credit rating will be poor, and stock price will be poor. All this will affect the financial, these are the attributes which is included in your financial performance, and this will be affected. And next is damaged reputation. As I told, when you don't facilitate proper information or information availability is poor, then first one is the cost will be affected, or economically it will be affected. Second one is your reputation will be affected. These are the two things which are main factors for your organization, and based on this information these two may affect. And here damage reputation may be damaged due to customers bad opinion, suppliers bad opinion, financial markets and banks, business partners. Due to, when obviously when you don't have a revenue or you're not financially strong, you cannot you cannot make sure that the expectation of all these stakeholders like your customers, suppliers, financial marketers, banks, business partners, you cannot satisfy them when you don't have proper revenue. And obviously the reputation will be damaged, and sometimes this may result in breakup of I mean bond also. And also other expenses like your temporary employees. See, when you want to work on a few things, your employees is the team you have is not enough, then you have will hire a temporary employee. When the information is not available, the hiring rate of temporary employee is also lost. Equipment rental, when you are taking the equipment to work on it for rental process, then the rent is lost. And overtime costs, extra shipping costs, travel expenses, all these are other expenses which will matter when you have a downtime or when the information is could not be accessed. So these are all the main factors, and based on this we need to make sure that the organization should make sure that the information should be available every time the client is required. And if so it could not be done, then they should have a proper recovery measures or actions should be taken care to make sure that they provide the information. And next is measuring information availability. See, information availability is measured in terms of uptime and downtime, system uptime and system downtime. You can see here. See here, first part of your diagram, you have detection, recognizes, repair, restoring, recovery time, response time, recovery. See, all these factors are included in your maintenance. Hence, this is your downtime or time to repair or downtime. these factors which is required to repair the process or repair the resources, and at this slot the information is unavailable and we call it as downtime. The first part is your downtime, and after the recovery is done, this is your uptime process. See, uptime process is nothing but time between failures or uptime. See, uptime time between failures is nothing but after your failure and restore, you have a time, and this uptime can be used to information availability. We'll be having two factors where how you can calculate the information availability. You have a particular terminologies. The first one is your MTBF. You can see here MTBF. First point, MTBF is nothing but mean time between failure. Mean time between failure. And you have MTTR. MTTR is nothing but mean time to repair. See, MTBF is related to your uptime, and MTTR is related to your downtime. See, MTBF is, it is mean time between failure is when the information is available, and mean time to repair, MTTR, is nothing but mean time to repair is nothing but your downtime, when you have a time to repair the resources. When you want to calculate MTBF, we have a formula: total uptime divided by number of failures. We don't dig into it how to calculate everything. This is the standard format which is used by organizations. Just for our knowledge, will have a glance on it. And MTTR, that is mean time to repair, that is total downtime divided by number of failures. These are related to your MTBF is your uptime, MTTR is your downtime. Based on these two factors, your information availability can be calculated, and this IA is nothing but your information availability, and this is calculated by the formula called MTBF divided by MTBF plus MTTR. Here you can see IA is equal to uptime divided by uptime plus downtime. This is how you calculate the information availability time, or your time for which the information was available for particular client, and you make sure that this should be properly managed based on the factors which is influencing. This is how we measure the information availability based on MTBF and MTTR, that is nothing but your downtime and uptime. The total information availability is uptime divided by uptime plus downtime. This is how you calculate the information availability. And next you have some of the terminologies, you will be using in business community. We have some of the terminologies or definitions. We'll repeatedly use this wordings so that we'll see what it is actually. The first one is your disaster recovery. See, disaster recovery is nothing but uh, what this disaster recovery is responsible for. It is coordinated process of restoring system data and information infrastructure required to support business operation. As the name itself said, it is a recovery process. It will restore the informations or the system or data or infrastructure calamities, and it will make sure that after this disaster recovery will come into picture after the disaster has happened, because you make sure that when any disaster is occurred, you make sure that disaster recovery is applied, and this is the process of restoring system data or infrastructures required to support business operations. And also it will restore previous copy of data when you have a disaster of For example, transferring, or when you have a disaster, then it will make sure that copy of data, previous copy of data, or previously thing will be restored. And also it mainly depends on some of the backup technology. This will use some of the backup technologies so that it will be helpful for your disaster recovery. This is the disaster recovery. Next terminology is your disaster restart. A restart is nothing but it is a process of restarting business operations with mirrored consistent copies of data and application. See, that is when you have a disaster, and when you could not uh, when you have a disaster in one particular node, you have stored the information. When you have a disaster with particular node, I already told replication is nothing but we'll keep a n number of copies in different nodes or sites so that it will be used later. And this disaster restart, what it does is it will leave the particular disaster node for recovery, and it will search for the replication of data, and if the data is available, this will restart the business operation with that data, or as I told, mirrored copies of data is nothing but the other copy of data. And here we use technologies which is related to replication technologies. See, in next classes we'll see a few technologies for your backup, replication, and also your archive. We'll see 4 to 5 technologies which is used in different environments. I hope it is understanding. Disaster recoveries, after disaster has occurred, it will start restoring the things, and it will use the backup technology. Disaster restart is after it is occurred, it will search the replicant data from any other site or nodes, and it will start the business operations based on the data which is mirrored or it is replicated, and this will use the replication technologies. And next we have the other technologies like your RPO, that is recovery point objective, and the other one is RTO, that is recovery time objective. See, recovery point objective and recovery time objective is nothing but uh, here recovery point objective is point in time to which system and data must be recovered after an outage. See, recovery point objective is nothing but with minimum point of time we need to make sure that the recovery has occurred, and also it will calculate the amount of data loss that business can endure because of this, uh, because of the data unavailability. See here, when you compare this to recovery time objective, see, recovery time objective will not make sure that within this time, the within minimum time it should be recovered, but it will wait for the maximum time. And here it tells that time within which system and replication must be recovered after an outrage. But in RPO we have a point in time, that is in minimum time we make sure that recovery is done. But in RTO what happens is we take a ample of time so that the recovery can be done. And here we don't calculate the data loss, we can only calculate the amount of downtime that a business can endure and survive. We don't we just see on downtime process. And most of the organization will go for recovery point objective, where because as soon as in a limited time if you get a recovery process done, then the data loss or whatever the factors which is included for the affected affection which will be affected through your information availability, then this will be less affected when you have less time. Hence you have a figure with for your recovery point objective and also recovery time objective. You can see here, it may be recovered in seconds, minutes, hours, days, or weeks. And also here also same picture, but we have some of the terminologies changed. See here, when you have a tape backup, you need 24 hours. When you have a problem with your tape backup, we need 24 hours in your recovery point objective. And for your periodic replication, you need 1 hour. And when you have asynchronous replication is nothing but which will deal with remote applications. For this, like your emails, like when you're accessing your web, all the remote processing, this will this is synchronous. This will take some of the hours. And also synchronous is nothing but which is within the network, like your telephone within the network telephony, or your TV services which is within the network and which is not remotely accessed. This will come to your synchronous replication. And when you come for your recovery time objective, then when you take the tape restore, it takes 72 hours maximum limit. Time it can take is 72 hours. But in RPO we tell that it should be it should be recovered within the 24 hours. And disk restore, we have disk restore here. Disk restore takes 12 hours. And your manual migration is data transmission. When you lost a data transmission, it takes for few hours. And also global cluster, it takes few minutes to be recovered. In this process, here in RPO we make sure that in less time we should get a recovery, but in RTO we don't stress on the less time or more time. In the maximum time, if it is recovered, it's well and good. These are all the business community terminologies used which is used for our module. And next is your business continuity. BC is nothing but business continuity planning life cycle. See, as we told, a main factor or business continuity becomes a major process in the organizations. Because we have seen what are the causes and how it is measured, and what are the effects because of the data unavailability, and how it is maintained, and on what factors it is going to resolve. On all this basis, we should have a proper planned life cycle for any of the organization. And also uh, we have nowadays this due to this business continuity, this organizations will have a dedicated resources to um, develop and maintain this business continuity plans. And here we have 5 activities which is included in the business continuity. You can see here: life cycle, establishing objectives, analyzing, designing and developing, and implementation. And next is your training, testing, accessing and maintaining. See, in each of the factors we'll see what actually they concentrate on to resolve the conflicts of unavailability of data. The first one is your establishing objectives. See, in establishing objectives, they determine what are the requirements, business community requirements. What are the requirements? Because what are the resources they require, or what are the softwares they require, or what are the actions to be taken, and for that what are the resources. And also they estimate the scope and the budget of their requirements. They estimate and scope of their budget. And next is they select the business community team for working within the and make sure that sometimes these people may be externally working, and sometimes they may internally working. Both the thing can happen. And also they create a business continuity policies. Terms and condition policies will be created in your establishing objectives. All these factors are taken care by your first activity called your establishing objectives, which is the first main step of your business planning life cycle. Next is your analyzing. Analyzing here, what are the main factors which is included in analyzing he is here they collect information on data profiles, business process, infrastructure support, dependencies, and frequency of using business infrastructure. They collect each and every data which is used for analysis purpose, not now or in future needs. They collect each and every data relate which is required for the organization. And also this group analyzing group will identify critical business needs and also assign recovery priorities. See, when you have n number of business operations, they give priorities according to the criticalness of the operations, and they see that the recovery is given to first top priorities, so that there is no loss for the organization. And also they'll create a strategies for dealing with the risk analysis for I mean risk analysis for critical areas, and also mitigation strategies. See, mitigation is nothing but it is a process that or an action of reducing the severe failure or seriousness. That is, they take precautions. Mitigation is nothing but they take precautions before they get a huge loss because of disasters or any of the things which happens in the network. Hence, this mitigation strategies and also risk analysis for critical areas is also monitored by the analyzing team. And also they conduct business impact analysis. See, business impact analysis is nothing but we term it as BIA. This business impact analysis, what they do is, see, we have seen what are the impacts of the downtime. For each and every factor, they start providing the impact analysis, so that how it can be resolved and how it can be improved. And also they create cost and benefit analysis also based on the data unavailability. Because when the consequence, what are the when you have a consequence of data unavailability, what is the analysis or effects on cost and benefits of the organization. In overall, all the analyzing job, all the critical job is carried out by your analyzing activities. And next is your designing and developing. See, designing and developing, as the name itself tells, they define a team structure and they assign individual roles and responsibilities. See here, in this life cycle, what we are do, what we, why we need a team is nothing but we need a team because because we need to make sure that whatever the thing happens, we make sure that data is available for the, and for on this purpose the team should work. And in design and development, what happens is they define the team structure based on the activities they have or the roles and responsibilities they have, and they define it and they assign their roles and responsibilities. For example, because for we have different teams like your emergency response or damage assessment or infrastructure recovery or application recovery. In these terms of thing, they make form a team and they will assign the assign the roles and responsibilities of particular team based on the activities they are assigned to. And also they design data protection strategies and also develop infrastructure. And they have a they'll develop the procedures for emergency purpose. And they'll develop the procedures for the, they will give in detail procedures for recovery and restart purpose. All this designing and developing part is taken care by the third activity called designing and development. And This analyzing and designing development will play a major role in the life cycle. And next is implementation. See, in a fourth step is your implementation. See, in implementation, what happens is they implement risk management and mitigation procedures. Mitigation procedures, as I told, mitigation is nothing but a precaution. A precaution is taken before some huge disaster happens. That is your mitigation procedure. They implement risk management and mitigation procedure, which includes backup, replication, and also management of resources. These are all taken care by your implementing. And also you have when you're implementing the resources, when there is a redundancy, the redundancy is nothing but the same data is stored twice, that is duplication happens. It will avoid that also in your implementation process. And next, the last activity is your training, testing, assessing, and maintaining. See, training, testing, assessing, and maintaining. See, here what happens is, in this they overall concentrate on employees or the team they have built, and they will make sure that proper training is given to the particular team to uh, work on the things. For example, here they train the employees who are responsible for backup and replication, and also they train the employees who is responsible for emergency response procedures, and also recovery team on recovery procedures, they train on them. And also we are who is responsible for damage assessments, they will train them. In each and every activity, the team will be trained in this fifth activity, and they make sure that the maintenance is properly done. See, this is the overall life cycle of how the business continuity planning life cycle works. And here uh, the main critical part is your analyzing and design and development, because based on this the implementation and testing is almost dependent on. Hence, we make sure that this analyzing and designing should be properly defined. You can see here it is a life cycle. If you have a problem in implementation, you can when if you have defined implementation process, when you have a problem by training and maintenance, you can again reframe the establish the objectives and again analyze it, because this is a life cycle. Hence, this can go on in cycles. Okay, I'll stop here for today. One second, I'll just record the attendance.